I just got back from Basinfire 2025 held in the Czech Republic. 4 days of sunshine, riffs and headbanging. I saw over 30 different bands, got sunburned, started smoking again and fell in love with a burger truck. Held every summer near Pilsen in the Czech Republic, Basinfirefest brings together 2,000 fans and more than 50 bands from across the rock and metal world. And today we're diving into Basinfire's tops and flops, the best bands, the worst bands and the surprise bands. And I can tell you guys, the best band I never saw coming. Narrowing down the 5 best performances at this year's festival wasn't easy, so I'm gonna have to throw in 2 honorable mentions. Now I had seen this band live before and I wasn't impressed, but this time it was a totally different story. The sound was tight, the energy was up and the crowd was totally on board, making this one of the better performances of that day. Sometimes it can be good to get something to kind of break up the day a little bit, and Steve N Seagulls totally delivered on that front. This may look like a joke band, but actually behind the funny undertones, there is no doubt that this band is extremely talented in how they arrange and perform some of those legendary cover songs that we all love. And the thing is that once you start watching them, you just can't leave, because you really want to see what song comes next and how are they going to perform it. But let's move on to the 5 best performances at this year's Basinfire Festival. Doro is a living legend. It's impossible not to like her. And her performance was just anthem after anthem, pure heart, pure soul, pure power. She still has a great voice and the band is top class. And on top of that, she has a stage presence that just spreads some positivity and some motherly care. I mean, who doesn't love to hear "I love you all" with a thick German accent? I saw Exodus perform at Brutal Assault last year and I thought they were absolute killer. But they were even better this time. With Rob Dukes back on vocals, the band has even more raw, aggressive energy. This band takes no prisoners and they drove through the set, making you feel like you're being slapped in the face without knowing from where and by whom. And I was lucky enough to interview Gary Holt before their performance, so stay tuned on my channel because I'm gonna drop that video later this week. Dark Tranquillity delivered a very emotional, polished melodeath set. And since this band seems to be everywhere that I go and they're always touring, I've seen them many times, but this was their best performance so far. Their singer Michael Stanley is a great frontman and he seems to just get better the more bands he joins. And I was thinking when I was watching this, is this some sort of a thinking man's melodic death metal? Let me know in the comments. I've seen Carcass live a few times, but they never lived up to my expectation until now. Because this time they fucking nailed it. Great setlist, killer sound and just relentless intensity. They really drove it through. So finally I got the Carcass show that I always wanted. Now this was the biggest surprise of the entire festival. My friend dragged me to see them and to be honest, because of their name I thought they were just a Sepultura cover band. But this turned out the best decision that I made during the whole festival. Schizophrenia reminded me of why I fell in love with extreme metal in the first place. The energy, the speed, the madness. And that drummer, guys, I really need to know what does he eat for breakfast. I need to see them again before they blow up, because I want to enjoy this band in a place small enough to smell the sweat on the next person. If you don't know Schizophrenia, you need to change that. I'm gonna put a link to their music in the first comment below. What I love about festivals like Basinfire is that if you go during the daytime, you can often catch bands that you didn't know existed, but you should know, or up and coming bands that are going to be the next big thing. Here are 3 bands that surprised me at this year's festival. With this band I knew the name but not the music, but they crushed it with a dynamic mix of metalcore, post-hardcore and a ton of emotion. And their frontwoman Nicole is not just a great singer, she's an absolute force with the crowd. She crowd surfed, mosh pit, ran in the pit with the fans, did everything. This band could definitely be going places. This one is Czech black metal with a 90s vibe and a very groovy backbone. Henrik himself, the main guy, he looks so calm on the bass that he would actually fit into a jazz band or something, but once they kicked off, it was furious, blackened energy. This one came out of nowhere and blew me away. So I'll put links to them as the other surprise bands in the first comment below. Crippled Fingers probably got the toughest job at any festival. They played the opening slot on day 1, 11 AM in the morning. And yet they managed to bring some serious heat. It's a thrash hardcore blend that hits like a punch to the chest, and once they started playing, the crowd started coming in. So it was a great way to kick off the day, and I would love to see this band again in a packed club. Now I want to make it clear, I'm not saying that these bands are awful or I hate them, but these were performances that I simply didn't enjoy. It might very well be that I would see them at a different place at a different time and have loads of fun. Now I was actually excited for this one, and it started off very cool with some gothic doom and a little bit of a Hammond organ, but then somehow it just faded and tracked out, and it felt much longer than it probably was in reality. Everyone and their mom was telling me to go and see Rise of the North Star. And they do have the looks, the riffs and the sound and the presence, but the songs, I've just heard this stuff before, and I'll hear it again from about 50 different bands in the same genre. And I kind of had the same issue with Aviana as I had with Rise of the North Star. It's this modern metalcore that blends into itself. Same arrangement, same breakdown, same vibe. I mean, they look cool, but they sound very generic. But both with Aviana and Rise of the North Star, I could see that people were totally enjoying this, so it's probably me who is the problem here. So were you there? Drop me a comment below. Who crushed it? Who flopped? And what were the biggest surprises for you? I also filmed 4 interviews at Basinfire. I got Gary Holt from Exodus, Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain, Stig from DAD, and Herman from Steve N Seagulls. So you might want to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you stay tuned for those. And if you like festival hopping like me, then I just covered Copenhagen the week before. 80 bands like Slipknot, In Flames, Dream Theater, Creator, King Diamond, and a lot more. So you can actually check out the video here about the best, the worst, and the surprise performances at Copenhagen 2025.